week, another winning week. I think I've got my strongest picks of the year. It's going to be a crazy weekend. I think they're going to see a lot of upsets in the NFL. We didn't have one last night. We did not have an upset. The better team, the team we picked last year to be a Super Bowl dark horse team, the team we picked to win the division this year, pull back a little. I didn't grow up in a traditional family. We didn't go to church like everybody, and I don't live a traditional life. I've moved around the country, moved my kids, and it's the life I choose, and I like it because I think nostalgia, especially in sports, is really dangerous. Ask yourself this morning, what are the two biggest messes in the NFL? Ask yourself. You're driving around America. You're watching me on TV. The two biggest messes in the NFL this morning. One, the Oakland Raiders. Nostalgia. Let's hire John Gruden. He was great for us a decade ago. And number two, the New York Giants and Eli Manning. They're a mess. Rear view mirror is no way to live life. It's called a windshield. It shows you what's ahead. By the way, the Kansas City Chiefs are a great example of how you should do it. Alex Smith had a very good year. But in sports, you bail a year early, you never bail late. And the Giants should have bailed on Eli Manning 3 or 4 years ago. Everybody loves Kansas City today. Alex Smith, MVP leader in September last year. 5-0 start. Bailed on him a year early. Now he's not as good in Washington. Folks, nostalgia's a burden. Nostalgia's a trap. Nostalgia's living through the rearview mirror. Ask the Raiders and the Giants. And the New York media fell for it. They so hated Ben McAdoo, the head coach, that when he benched Eli last year, the New York media freaked out. He's a fool. This is gutless. They couldn't understand. Eli was done. Eli should have been benched. Do you remember the game before Eli was benched? He threw for 113 yards. The team fell to 2-9. They had a longer week of preparation, and Eli was the worst quarterback in the league. Okay, if you go back to 2013, 2014, Eli was shot. The numbers are there. Completed 57% of his throws, 18 TDs, 27 picks. He had a passer rating under 70. But the New York media threw a hissy fit because he gave us Super Bowls. And it freaked out the Giants owners, and it freaked out the Giants front office. And there's been 9 great quarterbacks drafted since, and they've passed on all of them. Derek Carr, Garoppolo, Goff, Wentz, Trubisky, Mahomes, Deshaun, Baker, Sam, all available to them. All available to them. No. We benched him. Oh, my God. Guy was shot fighter after the 2013-2014 season. 18 TDs, 27 picks, passer rating in the 70s. 60s, actually. And stop telling me Saquon Barkley's the answer. Answer for what? He was unbelievable last night, and you still lost at home by 3 touchdowns. You start falling in love with tradition, nostalgia, the good old days. That's the rearview mirror. The New York media so overreacted to his benching that now the ownership and the management is stuck with that. Well, whatever that is. Here's the second play of the game. I mean, here's Eli hearing nothing but heat all week. By the second play of the game, this is what transpires.
Look for Eli Manning getting the ball out of his hands quickly because of that pass rush as well. 2 quick throws, and that one is picked. Dangerous throw by Manning, and he got burned on it. Well, you can see where Simonson was expecting the ball. He thought it was going to be to his left shoulder. The ball was on the inside. That's why Hicks was able to drive on it and deflect the pass.
Second play of the game. All week, I'll prove you wrong. He can't. If he was a major league pitcher, he'd be throwing 86 miles an hour. And all these young bucks are throwing 97. Be very careful about nostalgia. It is as much a burden as it is a joy. Let me shift to this. Big game this weekend. New England Patriots host the Kansas City Chiefs. I saw a headline this morning. Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes in position to take the torch from all-time great Tom Brady. Well, excuse me. He's got 5 wins this year. Tom's got 5 Super Bowl trophies. I want to remind you, Sunday Night Football, Belichick, Foxborough, Brady against a young quarterback. New England is 23-0 in Foxborough when they face quarterbacks under 25 years old. It will be 24-0 after Sunday night. By the way, Vegas has New England favored by more than a field goal. Here's a little context on this. Let's just go back 1 year. Pretty much the same roster, same coach. 1 year ago, Alex Smith's numbers on the left, Patrick Mahomes' numbers on the right. 1 year ago today, with these same players and coach, both were 5-0. Alex Smith was significantly better in completion percentage and passer rating. And Alex Smith had 11 TDs and no interceptions. Were we talking about Alex Smith taking the torch from Tom Brady? Listen, man, this is the way sports works. We fall in love with the new shiny toy. Oh, my God, Baker Mayfield. Oh, my God. Cleveland leads the NFL in rushing. Cleveland, defensive analytics, second in the NFL in defense. Cleveland leads the NFL in takeaways. And you keep trying to convince me their quarterback, who has 3 touchdowns and 3 interceptions, leading them. He's better than Tyrod Taylor, but the Cleveland Browns are led by their running game and their defense. But Baker Mayfield, he's the star. 1 year ago, Alex Smith had better numbers than Patrick Mahomes. He's fun. He's really talented. But, folks, go back to Dak Prescott's first year. What's happened since? Go back to Deshaun Watson's first years. How's he look now? Go back to Marcus Mariota's first year. Better than now. Nobody has a lot of film. Guy hasn't faced a winter. Patrick Mahomes. Some of this is it's a perfect storm. He's got 2 great deep threats. Last year's NFL leading rusher. Got the best tight end in football. A tremendous game strategist and game play designer in Andy Reid. Some of this is just a perfect storm. When Patrick Mahomes can lead his team to the Super Bowl against the Jags without Gronk and without Julian Edelman, who got hurt, and he's using Danny Amendola to beat the Jags in the AFC Championship and get to the Super Bowl. Danny Amendola. Gronk got hurt. Edelman not available. They weren't running the ball with great authority, and it was Brady and Danny Amendola beating the Jags. Ready to take the torch from Brady. Can I see a little adversity? A couple injuries? Bad weather? A hailstorm? A snowdrift? Can you give me something? Belichick, Brady, Foxborough, 23-0. 23-0. By the way, Greg Cosell said it last week when they faced a real defense. It was at home. Jacksonville's a crappy road team. But even last week, little pressure, Patrick Mahomes looked vulnerable.
We're also dealing with a quarterback who came into this league as essentially a sandlot and playground player who has mechanical issues that needed to be worked on that can crop up at any time. We're dealing with a quarterback in Mahomes who has a tendency to play outside of structure and leave the pocket. But I think that Mahomes leaving the pocket when it's not necessary is something to watch for as we continue, because that's the way he played in college.
And that's sort of the way he plays. And in September, the weather's perfect. You have all off season. Players are all healthy, no dissension, nobody's hurt. 5 wins does not equal 5 Super Bowls. Patriots win that game, and I think they win it convincingly. Coming up next, the cold, hard truth about Aaron Rodgers, who had another setback physically this week. That's coming up next. Brian Cox, Peter King, Eric Dickerson. We are loaded. Blazing 5, 40 minutes from now. It's a Friday. Untucked shirts, I'm wearing one today, are made to be worn untucked. You don't have to be guy out of a magazine to wear untucked shirts. Untrue. Tall, short, thin, wide, long torso guy works for everybody. Listen, the days of tucking in a shirt are kind of over. It's kind of, I think we're kind of in an untuck it era.
We are in the untuck it era.
Yeah, you don't tuck your shirts in anymore, or you're a gigantic nerd. And who wants to be a gigantic nerd? So you got to wear untuck it shirts. And this is a company that specializes in refining that look. They have 25 retail locations, or probably easier, just go to untuckit.com. They've got all their styles out there for the winter and fall. Use the code HERD, that's the promo code, HERD, H-E-R-D, and get 20% off your purchases. Tall, short, thin, wide, long torso, doesn't matter. We are in the untuck it era, so it's perfect. GQ calls them perfection. That you go to untuckit.com, code HERD, 20% off.